Joining me from Beijing is Qinduo Xu. He is a senior fellow with the Pangoal Institution and the host of CGTN's Dialogue Weekend. You know, you talk about this Twin City economic, circle, and it's on the drawing board, and then it actually comes to fruition. These are kind of the fruits of it, aren't they? Can you talk to us a little bit about what we're starting to see?
Mike, it goes back to, for example, at least like 2010, actually more than 10 years ago, there was an agreement called ECFA, basically Economic Cooperation Framework Agreement. It's a semi-free trade deal between the two sides, the mainland and Taiwan. Basically, that's a preferential arrangement for trade, mostly for Taiwan business people to invest in the mainland, to travel to resident in the mainland. So it's more convenient, and a lot of the export to the mainland will, tariffs will be reduced to zero. So that's the case over the past 10 years. And you see, as explained earlier, because of this, we speak the same language, the same culture, and also because of this accessibility of the market, it's easier, obviously, for Taiwan people to invest in the mainland, to do export to the mainland, and to live and to work in the mainland. To a certain degree, it goes both ways, but mostly, obviously, for Taiwan investors in the mainland, because the market is huge.
Yeah, and the inducements, the policies that have been put in place, incentives, they're really also a draw as well, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. And if you look at the reality, for example, in the year 2020, we know the whole world was in this crisis for COVID-19. Taiwan's export actually reached the historical high to the mainland. If you include that also Hong Kong, 43% of their exports went to the mainland Hong Kong, and their trade with the mainland actually was like 2.4 times that of their trade with, for example, the United States. That's like more than 200 billion US dollars for last year. Partly because of this preferential arrangement, partly because of the, I would say, the convenience of doing business in the mainland, because of the, the same people, same language, same culture, easy to carry around.
Talk to us a little bit about cross-strait travel, though. It had to have been impacted by the pandemic. There's still always these concerns about the Delta variant and stuff. Describe the situation on the ground there.
Well, the travel, obviously the situation, if you talk to people on the mainland, it's similar, I would say, to other parts of the world. People are still concerned about the crisis, the handling of COVID-19, because the vaccination rate in Taiwan remains low. And also, of course, people are still very cautious to basically leave the mainland, which is relatively free. As you earlier reported, and about 60 cases, mostly in the Yunnan area, close to Myanmar, or exported, most imported cases, but with little to zero local infection. The travel business was sort of like affected actually before the COVID-19, struck the world, back in probably to 2016, 2017. When the leader of Taiwan came to office, because of the politics, for example, her government refused to accept this, we call it the 1992 consensus, in which both sides agree there's only one China. Taiwan is part of China. Because of the lack of the political foundation, so the number of travelers from the mainland was affected. For example, for that year alone, 2016, I believe like hundreds of thousands of travelers from the mainland actually changed their mind, 700,000 of them. And then you came, of course, this COVID-19. It was further affected. So I would say last year and this half of this year, first half of this year, there were people traveling still back and forth, but the number was very much limited, I would say.